Hello everyone, welcome back to Optimize Evony. Today I'm going to do a bit of a rant video. So if you don't want to hear me rant about how shitty All-Stars was in comparison to previous All-Stars and how Evony has just really dropped the ball on things, feel free to turn it off. But I had a really shitty experience with All Stars. Um, for those of you that aren't aware, it seemed like Evany had a pretty major outage during All Stars, which again only seems to happen during All Stars. I don't know how they can't figure out how to not not completely break their game when they have their biggest event going on, right? Like this game's been around for 8 years. Like there's no excuse for this. They understand how many people are going to be playing. They understand the load that it's going to have. I don't understand how they can keep doing this. And in my experience, Ebony doesn't deserve your money if they're going to keep doing this. So don't keep spending, don't keep rewarding them for these shitty battlefields that they keep doing. So a little bit to explain what actually happened. I'll have a video at the end, but basically during prelims of All Stars, and it doesn't seem like this happened. This was universally um, applicable to people. I think it was maybe based on what I've talked to some people around, is that maybe it was only the people who were using Google Play to install Evony. They had some critical issue there. I don't know how that could really affect it, but basically, for about half the battlefield, a good chunk of my team, five, six, seven people, were completely locked out of the game for like half of the battlefield. That's unacceptable, right? And it has a huge implication on the results, right? Like we were doing okay. We were, going through the the normal All Stars battlefield. I personally was doing really well. I had taken a decent number of decent defenses. I was joining all the rallies. Points were looking really good. I can pretty much show you what my points were, because it was basically the second half of the battlefield that I was not able to join. Um, you can see that I am the second person to not make it, um, with 188,000 points. Was doing really well. This is approximately how many points I had when I got locked out. It was maybe like 180,000, because I got back into the game maybe with like 7 to 10 minutes left of the game and of the battlefield. And quite frankly, at that point, all of the squishy targets are dead. All of the people have kind of figured out where the teams are going to land, and so people are splatting on the team usually in first, to try and get more points than the other teams, to rank second or third or whatever. I think my team ended up taking third. Yes, so I was in bear. I think if I had been in Stallion, I would have still advanced even with this shit show of a battlefield. But again, it's the fact that I still almost qualified, showed how well, I was doing in terms of personal points. And, I wasn't taking a bunch of negative defenses. That was not the case. In fact, I was I had just healed to full health, basically when I had gotten locked out. And so I communicated with my team. I was still on the call, uh, that I was not able to get in. It was not just me; it was a number of other people on our team. It doesn't seem like some of the other teams had quite this issue. If I had been on, I would have been able to mitigate the damage. But I did try and at least keep them informed. Try and have them keep a march in me. Try and reinforce me when rallies were being set on me because obviously I couldn't move. I couldn't heal. I couldn't do anything. And so I ended up taking a number of defenses. Most of them went reasonably well, but like, again, like if if I had been playing, it would have been easy for me to, heal a little bit to avoid getting zeroed or port, and not get zeroed, all the things that you're used to doing in a normal battlefield. And particularly in All Stars because, you want to advance, you want your team to do well, you're looking for these positive point trades. Um, but yeah, so I'm very unhappy with what they did. Not just because I didn't make it, also because a number of people on my team were not able to play. They probably also didn't do very well. I'm sure there's a number of people closer to the bottom that were impacted by this as well. And so it's the rant here is really more so for Evony. I'm talking with them about what happened, trying to, get them to, compensate in some way. I'm sure you guys saw, oh, immediately after All Stars, there was a there was a compensation package that they gave, like I don't know. It was some small amount of healing speed ups. Um, so they obviously knew that there was a critical issue happening when it was happening. I had reached out to them, while it was happening. Again, not the only person that had this happening, and so like it they know that this was a critical issue. In fact, they've already tried to send me some compensation. It is, 100% not enough, right? Because, you know, not playing for half the battlefield, obviously I would have been able to, score. Let me look at, the next highest person on my team was 200,000. I would have easily been able to score like 12K points in an hour. Like that's pretty easy to do. And just the fact that like my team was not able to fill rallies during this period because we just didn't have enough people that could access the game and could heal and do that stuff. And so it, it clearly impacted our ability to be able to advance. And so some small amounts of speed up, some small amounts of other like compensation is just not going to be enough. They need to, completely, compensate people for what they lost. Uh, and to be clear, I am not a big proponent of people, trying to get a shit ton of stuff for lag. Like everyone has to deal with lag. You know, of course, lag doesn't affect everyone exactly equally, but at least everyone has to play with some lag. That's part of All Stars. It always has been. Pretty much every All Stars I've been a part of has a lot of lag. Um, but you kind of just play through it. It's part of the game. It's affecting everyone to some extent. And so I don't at this point I don't even reach out to CS and try and get compensation for lag because to me it's just part of the game. But something like this where I literally could not get into the game to play, that absolutely they need to compensate, right? And again, it's not just me. There's a number of the other people. There's probably people on winning teams that had this happen. I'm sure the people who had it happen and still advanced are a little bit less upset about it. I am quite upset about it. That's one of the reasons why this video is so late, is because I was, calming myself down a little bit. So, I didn't go completely unhinged on this video. But I wanted to let people know what happened. I'll put the kind of a short clip of what was happening, why, and like basically how it was impacting the play at the end. But just really, this is unacceptable as a serious mobile game platform that clearly people are spending thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on their accounts, and Evony is not able to provide even like the basic fair playing ground, in battles. Obviously, it's a pay to win game. It's never going to be a fair playing ground. But in the context of a battle, like you can't have people locked out. Like that is just table stakes. You cannot do it. And so like really, I mean, I'm in favor of restarting the coin strike. I mean, it was probably too soon to call it a win. When like even in challenge, like lag was really bad. So like the the fact that they said that they fixed all these things, I have never once seen them fix something and fix lag and have it be successfully fixed, right? So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, kind of more of just a rant here, but I had to say it. I had to let people know what was going on. Hopefully, Evany does compensate people who had this issue fairly, because it really, I mean, quite frankly, undermined the fairness of the prelims. And like obviously I'm not what I'm not saying is that the people who made it, into semifinals, I'm not saying that these people aren't deserving. Obviously these people played really well. They probably, spent a lot of healing speed ups, whatnot. But when other people can't actually access their account and can't actually play, it's not a fair, playground. So I'm not coming after any people that that weren't impacted by this. This is really just purely for Evany. So let me know what you guys think. I'll try and edit in a short clip of what was actually happening on the actual day, how I was locked out. Basically, it was I was getting the red Wi-Fi signal like every like second or two, and nothing that I would do would have any impact. Like I could sometimes see some chat messages pop up. I think one point I started flashing red from a rally getting set on me, but I couldn't do anything. I couldn't port. I couldn't heal. I couldn't even see what was happening in the game because every 2 seconds or every second it was getting red Wi-Fi and then resetting everything completely. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, please do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.